This is the San Jose edition of the Bay Sector Communicator for Thursday, February 27th. Sharon Leggett reporting. A major fire has broken out in a New York telephone company building in Lower Manhattan. The president of New York Telephone, William Ellenhouse, is at the scene. He said we have a major communication catastrophe. The fire is thought to have started in the basement and spread to subsequent floors. It may have destroyed the entire building. Telephone customers in California are being asked to limit their calls to the New York metropolitan areas except for emergencies. Available circuits have become overloaded, necessitating the exercise of control to allow emergency calls to go through.
In the Indianapolis 4A switch, the code 000 goes to an operator advisory recording. Let's see if it says anything about the fire.
To 212 NPA. This is a recording, 3172. Due to a fire in New York City, make one attempt to 212 NPA. This is a recording, 3172. Due to a fire.
There's also a recording for operators in Miami. Let's check that one.
Let's all be sure to acknowledge the customer. The initial order or any other request they may ask. Also acknowledge all coin deposits, local 10-cent calls, initial deposits, charge due, and any overtime. Keep your headsets adjusted so the customer can hear you say, "Thank you." Acknowledging is such a small item. Let's not let it ruin our service. Thank you.
I guess not. Now, Deer Park Tandems 1 and 2 are a double-unit sector tandem for eastern Nassau County and most of Suffolk County, Long Island. From my Lynbrook 3 crossbar 5, I can make any code go through Deer Park by dialing my own area code 516. Here's what happens dialing 516 followed by 212, then one of the affected office codes plus a final digit.
Equipment. This is a recording, 5168. I'm sorry, all service to the number you are calling has been interrupted due to damaged telephone company equipment. This is a recording, 5168. I'm sorry, all service to the number you are calling.
That was Deer Park 1. We have N carrier to that. To get Deer Park 2, I'll have to keep trying until I get T carrier. Nope, that was N carrier. Let's try again.
I'm sorry, all service to the number you are calling has been interrupted due to damaged telephone company equipment. This is a recording, 5169.
Next, I'll use a similar technique to get the Chelsea P recording. It works, but if you listen carefully, you can hear the Chelsea Fire recording, also referred to as the X recording, in the background.
I just dialed 516-212-5651, which is a Chelsea panel.
I'm sorry, your call did not go through. Will you please hang up and try again? This is a recording, 21242. I'm sorry, your call did not go through. Will you...
You can hear the X recording in the background of that.
on Willoughby Street in Brooklyn. This is the 4th edition of your New York Telephone Newswire on Thursday, February 27th, 3 p.m. Firefighters continue to battle the blaze at the company's 2nd Avenue building. An attempt was made to enter the building, but firemen had to withdraw because of the intense heat and smoke. It is now reported that it may take until early evening for firefighters to extinguish the blaze. While the fire continues, it is impossible for the company to make an assessment of the damage or predict when the 170,000 phones knocked out of service will be restored. The entire 2-block area surrounding the fire at 2nd Avenue and 13th Street has been evacuated. 12 exchanges have been damaged by the blaze and 5 tandems. New York City region forces are studying the capacity available in adjacent central offices with a view to starting restoration work without delay.
At this point, for all they know, the whole building may be destroyed. So they have to consider possibly moving all 12 of those office codes into pre-existing switches in some of the neighboring central offices.
Long Lines is rerouting some long-distance traffic into and out of the city.
Yep, that's because of Gotham Tandem. I'll explain in a minute.
And have notified overseas units that calls to certain exchanges cannot be completed. That's your 4th edition, and this is Helen Banks. Thank you for calling.
Okay, Gotham Tandem
21213
is going to be hard to replace. By the way, Gotham 8 and 9 work together as one double unit. They are identical in function. Gotham's main function is as an incoming sector tandem for most of Lower Manhattan. The Gotham sector goes up to about 34th Street on the east side, and on the west side it doesn't go as far up because the West 18th Street central office is in the Chelsea sector. So wherever the West 18th Street office ends, its southern boundary, that's as far as the Gotham sector goes. All of the Wall Street area and all of that is in the Gotham sector. Now, in New York City, long-distance calls are handled in a way that is rather non-typical. In most parts of the country, you have only one incoming and outgoing long-distance tandem, and that tandem will have full groups, that is, not designed for any reroute, to each of the offices in its sector. In New York City, it is different. First of all, there's a split sectional center, New York 4, 2122, and New York 7, 2123. Those offices don't have full groups to the end offices in New York City. They have high-usage groups. So most of the time, when you call into New York and you get one of the big tandems, it's going to go directly to the office you're calling, but during peak times, it's going to use the sector tandem for the office you're calling. And so what's happened now is you got New York 4 and New York 7 having high-usage groups to each of the offices in Lower Manhattan, but if those get busy with no Gotham Tandem there, it's got nowhere to go. So what's going to happen is that during normal times, no one will notice, but during busy times, you're going to get a lot of recordings saying all circuits are busy now. So they're going to have to decide to put that traffic somewhere else. And amazingly, there's actually no clear alternative because, well, let me just go through them one by one. You have Varick Street 4A, 21245. That's used for a lot of things. For example, it's the first choice for Manhattan and Bronx from all of Nassau County, number 1 and number 5 crossbar. So 21245, Varick Tandem, it's got very good coverage of Lower Manhattan. But you'll never guess what it uses when those high-usage trunks that it has plenty of get busy. It goes to Gotham. You also have the Williamsburg ESS Tandem, 21250, which is used for crossing the East River, basically, between Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan, Bronx. It has a complementary partner in the Broadway 2 4A, 21220. The two of them handle a lot of East River crossing traffic. Not all of it, because the Manhattan and Bronx panels and crossbar 1s don't use it. And that pair of tandems has really good coverage to Lower Manhattan. But again, they don't have full groups. They have high-usage groups, and when those get busy, again, Gotham Tandem is the only choice. Gotham Tandem is really the final route calling into Lower Manhattan. And now it is out of the network. So if Gotham is really gone forever, they're going to have to designate some other tandem to be the final route for the Gotham sector. The real possibilities they've got are the ones I've mentioned, Varick, Williamsburg, Broadway. They probably have the capacity, and they would have to add trunks to each of the offices in order to really have full groups with enough trunks to handle the peak load. I guess for now, since none of them are going to try to route to Gotham, they're just going to give an end recording. All circuits are busy now. They could distribute the overflow amongst the three. I was also looking at York Tandem number 2, a very old tandem, which does have full groups to the Gotham sector, but it doesn't have the capacity. It's really old. It receives a lot of RP. It has maybe 1,700 MF trunks, and Gotham, between the two of them, has 5,400. So let's leave York Tandem 2 doing what it does, a good part of which is handling incoming calls to the Gotham sector from Westchester crossbar 5s. If you go up to Yonkers, you get York 21218. Now, I guarantee you, right now, there are some guys in a room having a conversation that sounds very much like what I've been saying for the past few minutes. I would love to be a fly on that wall. Now, back to Gotham. From Staten Island crossbar 5s, Gotham Tandem is still the first choice for Lower Manhattan. So what's going to happen there is, first of all, they're going to have to busy out all the trunks to Gotham. That's going to overflow to Staten Island Tandem.
Sorry, your call did not go through. Will you please hang up and try again? This is the recording. 21239.
Staten Island Tandem has some high-usage trunks to Lower Manhattan, but not a lot. So they're probably going to have to put in some sort of an emergency route to be able to handle traffic from those Staten Island crossbar 5s. Because in this case, Gotham is the first choice. You'll encounter trouble right off the bat. There's no good alternate to send it to. And the alternate route, Staten Island Tandem, has high-usage groups, but those groups are relatively small. It's got to overflow somewhere. And at this point, they're probably going to have to install a new trunk group where Staten Island Tandem overflows to maybe Varick or something. And then, of course, Varick can't overflow to Gotham. Gotham also acts as an incoming gateway to the entirety of the city from offices and tandems in northern New Jersey. They're just going to have to use something else. Borough Tandem.
212.
Pathetic. Or Varick Street. Borough Tandem, they might have trunks too. Varick 4A, they probably don't. They'll have to build them or something. So this is a challenge, but it's actually not the worst that they've got. The worst challenge I will discuss later on, and this is something that Ben and I didn't even know at the time. We discovered it shortly after the fire. In any case, this statement...
The tandems were designed for secondary routing, and in general, the alternate routes are handling the traffic.
just doesn't hold up.
From 101 Willoughby Street in Brooklyn, this is the fifth and final edition of your New York Telephone News Wire on Thursday, February 27th at 5:45 p.m. The fire at the company's 2nd Avenue building, which started last midnight and has knocked out 170,000 telephone lines in Lower Manhattan, has caused extensive damage. However, until the company can make an inspection of the building, no assessment can be made at this time of the full extent of the damage to cable and equipment, and no timetable can be set for restoral of service. Fire Commissioner John O'Hagan late this afternoon said the worst is over and that firefighters are now able to enter the building. However, he said much remains to be done and fire forces will continue working most of the night. In the meantime, mobile units have been stationed at 23 different locations in the area to handle emergency calls. All manufacturing locations have been placed on a standby basis, and major Western electric suppliers around the nation have been alerted to be ready to expedite shipment of equipment and supplies as soon as the exact needs are known. New York City Region Vice President Lee Oberst said, "This is the worst fire that we ever had in the New York company."
Current city conditions are as follows. Telephone service is disrupted from 26th Street to Brooklyn Bridge and from 5th Avenue to the East River. Extra police are on hand to handle emergencies. Anyone having difficulty calling 911 should try calling their local precinct. Long Island Railroad reports delays up to 1/2 hour on the Port Jefferson branch, eastbound, other service on time. 10-minute delays are reported in southbound R subway service, B subway service, and N as in nurse subway services. Other subway services are reported operating on time. Traffic conditions at this time are moderate to heavy. Alternate side of the street parking regulations will be in effect tomorrow, Friday. Of the services available to New Yorkers by telephone, the number selected today deals with reporting harassment by a landlord. Call area code 212, then 725-4800 from 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays. And thank you for calling.
That was the afternoon New York City report on the 27th. Now let's check the AT&T Newsline on 393-2151.
I'm sorry, all circuits are busy now. Will you try a call again later, please? If you require additional information, please call 999-1234. I'm sorry, all circuits are busy now.
393 goes to the Varick Street 4A,
21245.
and that's where that recording was coming from. Now, 393 in Manhattan is a complicated step-by-step Centrex for AT&T, mainly the office at 195 Broadway. One part rings like this, the other part rings like this. In the New York area, there are only 4 Centrexes that have more than one incoming gateway: Sperry Gyroscope, Grumman Aerospace, AT&T's White Plains 320 Centrex, and AT&T's 393. When Ben calls 393, it goes to Queen's Tandem, which does have direct trunks to the step.
Okay, we'll record routing to 393 Telco Exchange. It's a large Centrex, very large, so it's almost like a step-by-step in New York. We'll get routing via one tandem pulsing into the Centrex.
This is the Bell System News line for Friday, May 24th.
Those direct trunks from Queen's Tandem to the 393 step mean Ben can get through even during the fire. But from my house, the route is Varick Street 4A. It doesn't have direct 393 trunks, so all it can do is use Gotham Tandem, and that's why it's not going through for me. And come to think of it, if I call my local operator and ask her for a 393 number, she's not going to be able to get through, because she's on the Lynbrook Chord Board, which uses Hempstead Tandems 1 and 2 for New York City, and that uses Gotham.
Good evening. May I help you?
Hello?
Yes, may I help you?
Yes, could you get me 212-393-2151?
Having trouble getting it?
Yeah.
293-2151.
No, 393.
393.
Right.
2151.
Right.
And your phone number, sir?
593-9083.
Thank you.
Operator,
Yes, sir?
is there a charge condition on this call?
I'm sorry, all circuits are busy.
We're having trouble getting through to that area, sir, due to the fire in Manhattan.
Oh, can you try it again?
Yeah, sure, I'll be glad to. Yeah, that's a completion.
circuits are busy now. Will you try your call again?
I'm sorry, sir. I cannot get through on it.
Yeah, operator?
Yes, sir.
Is there a charge condition on calls to 393?
Is there a charge on a 393?
Yeah, I think it's a telephone company exchange. I don't think there's a charge condition.
Oh, yeah. No charge. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That operator got unwittingly included in the Dom Tuffy tapes, so every time I get her, I talk like Dom Tuffy. Anyway, sometimes my Varick trunks get busy. I just got this calling 393.
I'm sorry. All circuits are busy now. Will you try your call again later, please? This is a recording. 51610. I'm sorry.
That's the Nassau 4A, also known as Garden City 4A, which is the new final route to New York City from Nassau Crossbar 5s. Before late 1973, Richmond Hill was the final route for the city. Next, we can see how Deer Park is handling 393 by dialing 516 plus 212 plus 393 plus 1. That's coming from Deer Park Tandem, which normally uses Gotham, so that makes sense. But today it has also started doing this.
The operator for assistance. This is a recording. 51610. I'm sorry. We are unable to complete your call as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask the operator for assistance. This is a recording. 51610.
What a phenomenal routing.
I'm sorry. We are unable to complete your call as dialed.
That was Deer Park sending 393 through Nassau 4A because Gotham Tandem has been effective. That's the first time we ever heard Deer Park using Nassau 4A.
The last few calls were recorded at my house from my parents' Lynbrook 3 Crossbar 5 line in western Nassau County. The following comes from Ben, who lives in Bell Harbor, Queens, and has a Crossbar 1 line. I don't know the full story about this clip. He starts by dialing some random person in the main part of 393, the part that rings like this. Then he stops the tape and apparently asks the random person to get him transferred to the Bell System news line, which normally rings like this.
This is the Bell System news line for Friday, May 24th.
But today, on this transfer, it rings the other way.
Bob Taylor.
Yes, please.
Would you transfer this call to 8877, please?
Thank you.
This is a special edition of the Bell System Newsline for Thursday, February 27th. Due to the fire that continues to burn out of control in the New York Telephone Central Office, the company is asking operating companies to send out public information notices requesting Bell System telephone subscribers to limit their calling to the 212 area. Newsline editors who are unable to get through on the 2151 number may call 349-3350. I will keep you informed as developments warrant. This is Esther Silver.
The 2151 number she's referring to is the AT&T newsline, which she also does. They are aware that many people cannot get through to 393 while others still can. And that's because there are multiple gateways to 393, unlike most Centrexes. Ben's office uses Queens Tandem, which can still get through because it has direct trunks. My office uses Varick Street, which uses Gotham, so I'm blocked. However, they have now set up a temporary number on the Digby 9 number 1 crossbar out of West Street, a CO that is not affected, and that's going to make it possible for many more people, including myself, to reach it. Here's the AT&T Newsline on its temporary Digby 9 number.
Common traded at 51 1/8. The preferred at 55. That's the news. This is Esther Silver reporting. This is the final edition of AT&T Newsline for Thursday, February 27th. New York Telephone President William Ellenhouse said at the scene of a service-disrupting fire that we have a major communications catastrophe.
A major communication catastrophe.
Okay, nothing really new there. But we can use the Digby 9 number to hear what they say tomorrow. Well, it's been a busy day today, even for us phone freaks who don't have to suffer smoke inhalation to get into this event. When the day started, calls were still trying to go through to the affected area. Then, the first wave of intercept recordings began to appear using this text.
I'm sorry, all service to the number you are calling has been interrupted due to damaged telephone company equipment. This is a recording, 5168.
Some places, including New York's Borough Tandem, began referring to the New York report.
I'm sorry, all service to the number you are calling has been interrupted due to damaged telephone company equipment. If you require additional information, please call 212-999-1234. This is a recording, 2129.
By the end of the day, even before the fire was out, the text was updated to reflect the new reality.
Recording, 5168. I'm sorry, due to extensive damage to telephone company equipment in New York City, there will be no service to the number you are calling for an extended period of time. This is a recording, 5168.
And now, in my local office, contrary to what we expected, the 12 dead office codes are doing this. I'm dialing 212-254.
I'm dialing 212-254.
I'm sorry, we are unable to complete your call as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator for assistance. This is a recording.
That's plain old vacant code intercept, just like dialing 311. Wow. As this episode comes to a close, the fire is still burning. In the next program, we'll see what day 2 brings.